Morning after. Last episode of 2025. Wouldn't want this done any other way. We have Riley Davis. He's at a different YMCA. Riley, can you let us know what? Well, you don't have to let us know what YMCA you're at, but
Mhm.
why are we at a different YMCA?
I'll let the people know. I'm not afraid to reveal my location. I am at the Northwest Cary Y right now, which is different from the downtown Durham Y where I'm usually posted up because they no longer have childcare on Wednesday mornings. So that means I had to find a new Y. They're both about equal distance away from my house. I'm actually watching my son walk by right now with other kids in childcare holding some sort of rope. I don't know where they're going, but I'm glad he didn't see me because then he would probably like there might be some emotions attached to that, like some sort of like this is not supposed to be happening, and always good to avoid a meltdown on a Wednesday morning. But yeah, good location, quieter location. Unfortunately, there are no old men playing ping pong right now in any proximity of my table where I have my little setup going. So I don't know if we'll see any outsiders make an appearance on this one, but you never know. Things get unpredictable at the Y sometimes.
Um, Theo not good at daycare. Is it like tough at drop off?
No, he's great at drop off. He runs right away from me and goes straight to whatever trucks he can find. But sometimes if he sees you, that's where he's like, yo, why are you here and you're not picking me up?
Got you.
Why can I see you when you're allegedly supposed to be working, but you're clearly not doing anything important because I'm looking right at you? It's one of those types of things. It keeps you on your toes for sure, but
It's honestly a fair play. Like if we really break it down, if we really break it down, that's honestly fair. Like those are questions that I do think should be answered.
well, what he doesn't realize is that what we do when data is behind the computer screen, it's not just fun and games. This is work. This is work. This is putting bread on the table. This is putting cheese quesadillas on his plate.
Is he a big cheese? Is he grilled cheese or cheese quesadilla guy?
More of cheese quesadilla. Like
It's
that's been
problematic.
his.
It's problematic.
Nah, man, we're active, dog. We got to feed him like a linebacker. Get him started on that plan early.
You got any New Year's plans?
Not really. I mean, again, like I love my son, but once you have little kids, like any sort of New Year's Eve fun party plans, they generally go out the window. My parents and my sister and brother-in-law and her son are actually coming to Durham today. So we'll be with them tonight. I might fire up the grill tonight, Dion. I got a couple pork loins that I'm grilling and a roasted pineapple salsa recipe I'm dying to get into. So that's kind of on the docket. What about you?
It's like 30 degrees outside. Riley's like, don't worry, I'll fire up the grill.
It's supposed to be 50 today. It's supposed to be 50 in Durham. And so, yeah, that's warm enough to grill in my opinion.
Me and my buddies always do stupid stuff on New Year's Eve. We don't really go out like anymore, but like we just do dumb stuff. So about a month ago, a buddy of mine texted me like, "Yo, you want to do the McDonald's burger challenge?" And I was like, "Sure." And I don't know why I said sure, but basically we're gonna go golf the front nine. You have to have a drink on every single hole, so we're gonna be 9 drinks deep, 2.5 hours into our golf round. Again, stupid stuff. And then the course is right next to our house for anybody wondering, so it's okay. We all
Okay,
live
that's good.
me and like two of my friends like live within maybe like 3 block radius of each other. And then on the back nine, we have to have a McDonald's hamburger for every hole. So we're gonna have 9 burgers and 9 drinks on this golf course. And then we're supposed to go to my buddy's house for like at night, but we'll see if I make it there.
So wait, when we're talking 9 burgers, are we talking like 9 McDoubles, or
No,
are we talking like the Mc?
no.
Which like is it
Like
just
a
a single
hamburger or a
patty?
cheeseburger. Single patty, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I feel like McDoubles go down pretty easily. Those are like yay big.
We did it before. It isn't tough. You just feel awful. Like
Yeah.
after. It's not like tough to accomplish though.
Mhm.
I want to say we're doing it differently this time because I decided to have 6 hamburgers on the first hole, and then I only had to have 3 across the next 8, and they're like that's cheating. So we're gonna only you have to do 1 per hole because part of the challenge is like once you stop eating, you get less
Right.
hungry type of deal.
Yep. No,
So
that makes sense. That's definitely like if you knock out 6 at once, your body doesn't even realize you're full yet, and it's easier to do.
right, and
I
that's
kind of
what I
res-
did.
I think if you're able to do that, if you can put down 6 burgers in one hole, your friends don't really have any right to stop you and say that you're cheating. My rebuttal would be, why don't you just do the same? Why don't you go at it at my approach? Clearly I'm built different and you're trying to hate on the shine.
That's what I said, but also I did that and mixed in with the drinks. I don't really remember the last 4 holes from the last time we did it. So like I think it's probably a fair argument with like more details that I don't remember, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm hoping at some point there's a nap in there.
So you don't have to drink at all the back 9. You just have to drink up the first 9.
Drinking for fun on the back 9. It's for business on the front 9. Back 9's like, well, you're gonna need something to put the McDonald's down. And New Year's Eve with my friend group is a shame you for drinking water day. Unfortunately, it's not like that. That's not an appropriate drink.
So wait, what's the beer of choice on the front 9? Is it?
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping they let me do like alcohol because I think that will be easier for me. I have a very weak stomach, so if you combine beer with McDonald's, like that's a lot. Michael says, "Is this show about basketball or we're still fleshing out what the show's about? But we can get into some basketball." Pickle Rick said, "What do we think about Clough, Braden, and Fletch coming back for a 5th year as Braden leaked on Run a Point last night?" I haven't had an opportunity to watch the full Run and Point episode yet, so I don't know the manner in which he mentioned it. Was he joking or was he serious? Can they come back for a 5th year?
It depends on if that 5-and-5 rule passes, which I still don't get why it's called 5-and-5, but it seems like, okay, Rickus Morty says, in all seriousness, he said Clough is getting a 5th year. Yeah, I feel like Clough would take advantage of that. I would assume he's making good money and he's lived up to the standards to where he might even be able to get a little bit more out of Purdue and will have a higher usage, presumably once Braden and TKR are gone. But I keep hearing this is like the G-League discussion and the guys coming over or whatever, where it seems like they're moving toward doing some sort of rule where as long as you're within that 5-year window of high school graduation, you're going to be eligible to play college hoops. So it'll be fascinating to me to see if the 4-year guys who have been at the same school their whole tenure move on or not. I think this, I don't know. It's funny. I feel like I get more passionate about wanting 4-year guys who have been at the program for 4 years to move on than I do about the G-League guys coming over. Like, I think the G-League guys coming over is dumb. And I know you've had your rants before where you said this was like, which one? Oh, this was with London Johnson going to Louisville, where you basically said you had your chance, you sucked. Like, This is your fault. Live with your decision. And I see that rationale. I think with the G League guys coming over so far, at least, like not many of them have been like these super high impact guys. Anyway, I think James Najee will be a good defensive center for Baylor. He will have a positive impact on them. In that same breath, he was averaging like 3-3 in the G League. It's not like. I mean, maybe if Dink Pate comes over, that'll be different because I know he's putting up crazy numbers. But for me, I think because we're just inundated with the chaos of the sport every day and we react to it, it's like, oh, whatever. Like, this is just to be expected. Yet for some reason, like, I love Braden Smith. I enjoy watching Braden Smith. We don't need a 5th year Braden Smith at Purdue. Just like we didn't need a 5th year of RJ Davis at Carolina. Like, at some point, you just got to move these guys
on. I don't think – well, and TK – Kent is already in his 5th year, right?
Yeah, he's been there for forever. Is he redshirted a year, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I believe he's a redshirt senior. I could see Pickle Rick just bought up Fletch. I could see Fletch coming back too. The thing about Braden, like I keep bringing up, I mean, he's like going to be in the NBA. So I feel like it's just a different spot for Braden than I think a lot of people in the country. There's just no way Braden goes back because he's just gonna be in the NBA.
This would be my take with if Fletch comes back. If you're someone who, I don't mean this as a negative, Purdue fans, but if you are a specialist, if you are a 3-point specialist like Fletch, I'm more okay with you coming back for a 5th year than if you're a primary ball handler. I don't know why, but I am. I'm like, if you're a role player, yeah, sure, milk it for 5 years. If you are the guy, if you are the alpha, just get your 4 years in and go on, move on.
to me, it just depends on if you're like going to the league or not. So here's where I'm at with the new NBA college stuff, and the president or whatever said like he doesn't like he's not going to grant eligibility to any NBA player, including G leaguers. I hate that. I gotta be honest with you. So I watched Bogavox, which we will get into last night. Like I watched Petro the day before that. You basically turn on your TV and you can watch a ex-pro European basketball player play. I think if you go to the G League or have a two-way contract, you should be able to play college basketball. I don't think NBA players should be able to. But I think you should be able to if you're like I don't think a G leaguer is an NBA player. That's just my belief. And maybe like everybody else classifies that differently. I think G leaguers could be NBA guys, but I think largely like G leaguers don't make the NBA or they get like very short stints. And so I think going a college route might be their best option. And I believe if you're allowing a 23-year-old Mihailo Petrovic to play college basketball, you should let Trendon Flowers play college basketball too. Those 8 minutes he had against the Warriors is not like that is not the difference between what him and Petro did. Now, what I really think should happen is you don't let any of them play. So this was my resolution to it, Riley. If you are a draft eligible prospect, you make your choice, college or pros. And that's G League, that's Europe, that's the NBL, that's the NBA, whatever that is. If you are 1 year, you get 1 year out of high school to do whatever you want. And then that second year, you make your choice. You declare for the draft or you go play pro somewhere or you go to college. If you choose the pro route, don't come to me. Like, I don't care if you're 20 and you flamed out of like Spanish Liga B. Like, no, you don't get to play college basketball. But if you're 19, draft eligible, like an Omer Meyer or a Hans Steinbach, by all means, come over.
Mm-hmm. I like that take a lot. I'm with you where that's why I know, with all due respect to people who cover this sport and who are locked into the dialogue overall, I don't really get the whole this is ruining our sport dialogue with the G League guys, especially unless you felt the same with what Brad Underwood's done, what Carolina did this year with Bogavots, which, again, half these guys don't even pan out. Like Mihailo Petrovic, I didn't see the game against Southern the other night, but he was playing 3 minutes in a game that mattered like a month ago in a Big Ten game. Bogavots got benched last night for the final 15 minutes. It's not like all of these older pros are ruining the sports and juicing it for certain teams. Like there's still issues with guys translate. A lot of the ABA guys, like Filip Jovic at Auburn, Timothy Malowich, something like that at Miami. These guys aren't logging huge minute totals. And I think it gets to the overall point of like, I mean, I want to see more talent in this sport. Like, I love what Mario St-Superi is doing for Gonzaga. I think he adds such a different dimension to that offense than Braden Smith, the other Braden Smith. He's also like 18 or 19, so maybe he's within this range. But
he's 19,
like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I like seeing talent come over to the sport, but I'm with you that if you're gonna let these older dudes come over from Liga ACB or the ABA or the top league in Germany, then like the G League dudes who are under 24, like that's those guys. It's the same rationale where, yeah, like I think I don't really have I don't have a problem with Trent Flowers playing in a college basketball game next year. So, but I like your solution of just like a year after college, you got to make your choice. But anyway, continue.
So someone put in the chat, Fletch is going to get a two-way NBA two-way as a specialist. He will. And then like likely after a year, he's going to flame out and have to go somewhere else, right? Like that's kind of how the two-way stuff goes. You either hit or you get a year or two of that and then you're done. Mm-hmm. What is so if we know that's Fletch's like ceiling, right? And Fletch's, I'm sorry for how tired I sound this morning. My bad. But like, if we know that Fletch's ceiling, right? And Fletch is, how old is Fletch? 22, 23?
Yeah, I would guess 22. We'll say 22.
Let me Google it just to be safe. Fletch is 22. He turns 23 in September. If we know his ceiling is G League two-way guy, what is the difference between Fletcher Loyer playing college basketball right now and Trenton Flowers, who's literally a G League two-way guy, if they're both going to be in the same spot 5 months from now, and Trenton Flowers is 3 years younger, right? Like I see a massive difference if you draw a line in the sand. Here's when you get to make your choice. I get that. And so like I do understand there's a difference between two because Fletcher chose college and Trenton chose the G League route and it didn't work for him. But like you're basically allowing guys like you're allowing like a Petrovic, a Thista Ritter. How old's Bogovac? 21?
22. He's 22.
Yeah, a Bogovac to essentially choose a career path, fail at it, and decide to go back to school. And then go the Fletcher Loyer route and hope that things can be different a few years from now. And if you're allowing them to do that, I think you should allow G Leaguers to do it too. This is one of my other solutions. I want everybody to come out and be like, hey, we were wrong. Europe is not the second best league in the world. The world is not catching up to like the NBA and American basketball. And if we admit those two things, I'd be like, you know what? Let them come over whenever they want. But like as a fan of the sport, as an NBA fan, and honestly, you kind of saw it this summer too, right? Like everybody talks about like, the world's catching up. The world's catching up. And I'm not being disrespectful to European basketball, but like to me, it's a black eye, not just on college basketball, but on Europe, on these pro leagues they're coming from, that our 22 and 23-year-olds get to be classified as freshmen and sophomore in college. Like that I don't know if that benefits either party. Because if you're these European basketball leagues and you're trying to like prove yourself, I don't think it's great that like one of the best players from the Adriatic League in Petrovic has come over and been awful. And he gets like 3 years of eligibility at 23. That's not a good advertisement for that league either. So it's got to be one of the two. Either draw a line in the sand or just be like, you know what? Adriatic League is terrible. Bogovac isn't that good. And Trenton Flowers is good and like is playing in the G League. And that's why that's our line in the sand. I'm okay with that too. Like every announcement, if every announcement goes, Trenton Flowers good at basketball, no eligibility. Luka Bogovac bad at basketball, 3 years eligibility. I think, hey, that's fair.
So we just need someone as the arbiter of who is actually good. So I like that line of rationale. If there is this collective agreement among college basketball fans, among NBA fans alike, where we say, hey, we don't have to pretend that these top domestic leagues are anywhere close to NBA level anymore. We can let those guys come over. But if you've been playing in the G, if you've logged NBA minutes, then yeah, that's the line of the sand that we draw. However, I will say with Trenton Flowers, you can make the argument like, hey man, you made your decision. You decided to go to the NBL. You decided to skip college. However, have we considered what the effects of being coached by Kenny Payne for a month before he withdrew have on a man's psyche?
I was gonna say this in regards to Trenton Flowers. How come a 23-year-old from the Adriatic League gets to come over, but the kid from the NBL doesn't?
Yeah, it's literally just because he's played how many G League minutes, or excuse me, how many NBA minutes has he logged this year?
I literally think it's the 8 minutes against the Warriors, like third stringers. He got to play like Pat Spencer and them in a blowout, and everybody lost their mind. And I get it. Like, I do not believe NBA players should be allowed to play college basketball. I do not want like people to think like, can you come bring back Book Night? Talk about a dude that flamed out. He was bad. Like that bad basketball player. But like I do not want people to think like I think NBA players should be allowed to play college basketball. I don't. But I just don't know that I fully see the difference. And I brought this up with I think JK on Monday. How come it's only players coming over from Europe? How come we haven't how come there's no guys from the NBL coming over? Is that league too good? You know, like what is I'm curious what the line in the sand is, right? Like because to me the NBL should be fair game, and the NBL has so much talent. Like because they I mean so does Europe, but like the NBL as an individual league is having 2 or 3 guys drafted every year. So like what's the line in the sand? Because honestly, James and Najee played on Barcelona. That's got to be one of the best 40 teams in the world, right? Like obviously it's not better than the 30 NBA teams, but after that, Barcelona's got to be one of the best 5 to 10 teams in the world. So like he's playing with the best coaches, best training staff. He's probably on a diet plan that a lot of these guys aren't. That could be the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because some of these guys come over like a little bigger. It's clear they don't have the most resources maybe in the league that they're in. I don't know. I don't know what the line in the sand is, but it's very bizarre to me. And if you're not, I just Trenton Flowers should be able to play Bogovac and Petrovic and all of them can. Like the Steinbach, St. Superi, Myers of the world, I get. Big Jelly, I even get to an extent. But James Anaji, that brother was traded for Karl Anthony Towns. Like, what are we talking about? Wait, no, not Cat. He was traded with Cat.
With Cat, yeah.
He's literally a part of like one of the biggest trades in the last 2 years. What are we talking about?
Also, did you see what Rickus just said?
This is my fault for asking about a club 50 years. You guys don't like this conversation?
You got us 15 minutes off on this one?
I thought we can move on. You want to talk North Carolina a little bit?
Sure, we can talk North Carolina. I was having fun doing this conversation, but if Pickle Rick wants to change the subject, we listen to Pickle Rick.
Yeah, I like the conversation. I could talk about that for hours, to be honest. So maybe they're sick of hearing me talk about it.
But yeah, we can talk this Carolina team. You watched the game last night. I texted you confirming we were on for this morning. Little did I know you were already chirping in our Sleepers group chat about how bad Bogovac was playing. I did not see that. I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb during UNC games. And so, yeah, but I like while I was starting it, I was like, okay, I need to go ahead and confirm this with Dion, but I'm just not going to check any other text that I have right now. But yeah, you watch this Carolina game, that first half, not the first half, the first like 10 minutes were hideous. Carolina began that 1 for 11. They looked like a team that, drank a little too much eggnog over Christmas and we're stuck in the mud. But yeah, what were your thoughts from Carolina as a whole, or Caleb Wilson, or anything with that? What do you want to hit on with this UNC team?
Good convo really needs to be had. Yeah, unfortunately, Ryan, I think the people that need to have it like aren't having it. Denny says, Riley, does your soul take a gut punch every time Cadeau makes a three?
No. So my official take on Cadeau, I don't think he would be doing this if he was at UNC for a third season. I think it would be more of the same. I think I'd be frustrated at the foul baiting, the turnovers, the dribbling into traffic. I just think he needed a change of scenery and earmuffs coded to Jameson. I know you're in the chat, but a better coach in Dusty May to fully unlock him. Yeah. Where I just think running it back with Cadeau at the point would have been not disastrous, would be way too strong of a term, but I just don't know how much better he was going to get in Chapel Hill. So even though he's putting up numbers, like he's not really someone I hold bitterness to. I'm not like, oh, I hate Cadeau. How did he leave us? Like, I understand why he left. He had hit his ceiling at UNC and needed a change of scenery. So I respect it. Yeah, you can call it cope, Ryan. I wish I had a better guard than Kyan Evans leading my team, but I just don't think he would have been that much better in a third season at Chapel Hill.
I think two things can be true here. I think Michigan fans are correct in how good Cadeau is. And like I will say I do think he could probably be this good at UNC. Like, however, I think it was over. And sometimes the best thing in life, regardless of the spot you're in, is just to admit it's over, regardless of how talented somebody is or how much, if it's a relationship, how much you love somebody, so on and so forth. Sometimes you just hit that end of the road. And I think Cadeau and UNC hit that end of the road. And I think if you like, that is probably part of why he's playing so good, because he has like a fresh start and is probably a lot more like, there's probably less going on behind the scenes too, if we're being completely honest. These past couple of UNC teams with Cadeau have sounded really messy. I will say though, like getting into the game, Caleb Wilson, DK just said it may be the most fun dude counting AJ. I agree. I'm not taking that dude top 5 though. I think
you're not taking Caleb Wilson top 5
in the draft. I think he's an extremely, extremely fun college player. He is really tall. Like when you watch Caleb play, he's way bigger than like if you just say the name Caleb Wilson, I guess you could say. Like when you think about Caleb Wilson, you kind of think about like AJ DeBonza. He's bigger than AJ to me. But he's like, I don't know, he just kind of hangs around the box and the elbow. Can't really shoot. Like there's more NBA flaws in his game than college flaws, in my opinion. And I think I like the prospects. This is just how I am. I like the prospects that struggle in college, but it's like he'll be really good in the NBA, like type of thing, because it's that athleticism kind of just pops off.
But my counter to that would be Caleb has is there a better athlete than him in this class? Like he's a better athlete than Boozer. He's a better athlete than Peterson. He's probably a better athlete than AJ.
I don't think so.
You don't think he's a better athlete than AJ? I think it's worth having that conversation.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, DK hit this on the head. He should not come back, but he would benefit a lot from coming back. I agree with that.
Man, I mean, maybe I just have my Carolina blinders on here. To me, I just think with his motor, his ability to get rebounds, and the athleticism and the blocks, they're defensively speaking, I would say there are times where you get him on the perimeter where he gets pretty undisciplined on a closeout. Like he had a couple late closeouts against Florida State that led to open threes, and that's happened throughout the season. That's truly my one knock on him, but he has such a high margin for error because of the physical tools with that wingspan, with the speed, with the athleticism. And I just think that'll translate immediately. He can be a rim runner. He can run it. He can grab and go. I think you don't really want him breaking dudes down off the bounce right now, but you're more than fine with him running the break. DK put this in the comments, but he had a live dribble, bullet pass to the corner to Jonathan Powell right in the shooting pocket for cash coming off of it. It was one of those passes that to me, I'm saying out loud, Powell, you better not smoke this assist. And he hit it. So it made the highlight reel. But 6 assists last night, that's not nothing. And I would say they're real assists. He is passing dudes open. He's cooking with Vasar in that high-low. And maybe I don't know how much high-low you're going to see in the NBA, but I think there's at least potential there for him to play out of ball screens and to handle a little bit. And at the very least, right off the rip, you're getting a guy who plays ridiculously hard, who just has a knack to rise above defense. There could be 3 dudes around him, and he's going to sky above all 3 of them to get the rebound. I think that stuff translates, and if the other stuff comes together, the handle, if the jumper, you're talking about a young KG. Carter once threw out the Giannis comp. I'm not above reminding people of that. I'm not saying immediately, Dion. I'm saying 8 years down the line, you can squint. You can squint and see maybe a Giannis light. I did not come up with the Giannis comp.
I'm not blaming you for that. Carter and I will have a discussion at some point about that. He's like a Thompson twin to me. He's a really tall Thompson twin. So, which is a good. I do not mean that negatively. I think Amen Thompson's phenomenal. So the way if I'm Caleb, what I buy into is defense, passing, rebounding, and dunking the ball, like a big Thompson twin. And I think if you do those 4 things, he can make an NBA career out of himself. I'm being nitpicky because in this draft, you should get a superstar in the top 5. I think my roadblock with Caleb Wilson. His ceiling to me isn't superstar. His ceiling to me is phenomenal second, third option on an NBA championship team. Caleb Wilson in the Aaron Gordon role for the Nuggets is a lot better than Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah.
And that would elevate a team. But could he be Jokic? No. Is he Jamal Murray? I don't even agree with that. He's to me as great of I take him over freshman Brandon Miller. Only reason I say no is Brandon Miller can shoot. That to me, shooting is it's hard for me to be I want the guy who can't shoot over the guy who can. It's never going to happen. But I think individual talent, he to me is just Caleb Wilson coming out of high school is he's a wing. No, he's a 4. He's a 4. He can be an undersized. At some point in his NBA career, you could do the small ball with the undersized 5 lineup. He's a little too small for that now. He might be able to do it in college, but he'll be a little too small for it next year, at least. So he definitely has a path to the league, and I think he's going to be the guy you take, and you're like, wow, Caleb Wilson won the most in this class. I agree with that. He seems very willing to play a role. He seems very willing not to have the ball in his hands. He seems very willing to just be a teammate, which is massive. He checks all the boxes. I just don't see a superstar. And if you're picking top 5, you get obviously you get AJ, Cam, Darren Peterson, but then you also have like Michael Brown. I think Darius Acuff is a superstar. Like you can go down the list. There's a lot of guys in this class that I think are stars.
What's the official Dion top 5? What's your top 5 on your big board? As much as we love big boards on this program, what's your top 5 right now?
We're gonna do a mock draft, so I'll do like my top 5 players in the class, or like top 5 guys I would take. Obviously, AJ's 1. I don't think that's particularly close. I would go Darren 2. I fall less and less and less in love with the idea of Cam Boozer, the NBA player, every game. I think, like I mentioned all this about Caleb Wilson, I think Cam Boozer has more Pascal Siakam to him than he does Paolo Banchero. And again, don't mean that as a slight. Pascal Siakam's all NBA, second option NBA champion. Not everybody's going to lead a team. I don't think Cam Boozer's a lead a team guy. So Cam would go 3. If I'm picking, Nate Ament's my 4th guy. I think Nate Ament has the biggest ceiling in the class.
Wow, I'm like surprised you're that big on Ament. I think Ament is definitely
nothing's wrong with Pascal Pickle Rick. Yeah.
Okay, I already mentioned it. DK, I said the first 10 minutes were awful. Carolina started 1 for 11. We looked like a team that had too much eggnog. Said that, ran bad offense, forced a ton of bad jumpers. Guards just dribbled around, and yeah, it was stinky. Yes, 9-7. I would like to wipe it from my mind. I was yelling at Hubert through my TV screen. But on that top 5 real quick, Acuff's got to be there for me now.
He's my 5th.
Okay, cool.
I
think mine would be I'd have AJ number 1. I'd probably still have Cam number 2. My NBA comp for Cam is Kevin Love. And I think sometimes we can get caught up on the ceiling talk, but he's just super productive. And he might not ever be MVP caliber, but if you can get someone who is a second or third best player on a title team, it just feels really safe to hit that ceiling. Yeah. I'm cool with that at 2. Probably Peterson at 3, Wilson at 4, and I'd round out my top 5 with Acuff.
I like Ament over Wilson just because Ament, like we're talking, like Wilson's going to be the better player most likely. There's a 5% chance Nate Ament is just AJ DeBonta. And yeah, I'm taking my risk on that because like if you could give me the option of getting like that potential, yeah. I mean, Pickle Rick brought it up. Boozer would go nice with Hallie. If the Pacers are picking 4 and 5, I would take Caleb Wilson. Like I think but like if it's I don't know if it's the Wizards or like the Portland Trailblazers or the Sacramento Kings, I think you take the flyer on Nate Ament because you need something more than like the second, third option guy.
Yeah. No, that makes a ton of sense.
It kind of just depends on who's picking, but I don't know. I mean, was there anything else you want to bring up? I mean, Bogovac stinks. Kion Evans is bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, so here's my take on that Carolina game. I still think Wilson and Vasar get you such a high floor that you can have guards no-show and you're still going to beat a bottom-tier ACC team by double digits like they did that game.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, like I think that was – that game, I think I don't know if there's anything else we need to add on Caleb Wilson other than like that game was incredible on his part. 22, 16, and 6, 2 blocks for Boot, 16 rebounds. Like he just makes it look so effortless. For as much love as Boozer gets for how dominant he's on the glass without even like you just look up and he has 10 rebounds or whatever. I would say Caleb Wilson is in that same tier. Good Seth Trimble game. He impacts the contest so much in transition. Like Caleb, again, had this really nice grab-and-go dime to Seth for a layup. And I underestimated how much Seth positively impacts this team on both ends of the court. I thought he still had a couple selfish moments on the break. Like he went 1-on-3 in a fast break opportunity instead of looking to dish, and it resulted in a missed layup. But overall, as a whole, I would still say Seth has improved as a passer. I think he's getting into the lane more regularly. But like my overall big takeaway, again, that front court with Carolina is dominant. Backcourt, you're still looking for answers. And that's because I get Kion Evans hit the 5 threes last night, which was great. But whether it's him or even Derek Dixon does this to less of an extent. I think Dixon's pretty good at getting a paint touch and finding an open teammate. He had 4 assists in that one. But with but he still does this some. Like they both just over dribble on the perimeter, and it doesn't look like either of them feels especially natural for them to be a lead guard. And that is where I would like to see Luka get a little more freedom. We've experimented some with him as the primary ball handler. I know you're shaking your head at that, but he looked pretty good in that role against both St. Bonaventure and Michigan State in that Fort Myers Classic. Like over Thanksgiving, they ran him a lot more at the one, and I thought he played pretty well in that role. He's not fast. He doesn't have great explosiveness, but he's crafty and can play out of ball screens. And I just think, like, before you completely bury him, just put the ball in his hands a little bit more. That's what he did for SC Derby. I know you're digging, and I don't blame you. I'm still not giving up hope on Luka. And this is partially because, like, I was singing his praises the whole offseason and had my hopes really high for him. I thought he'd come in and average 15 a game right off rip. Yeah, maybe it was crazy, but I just don't want to bury him just yet. I still want to get a little more creative than just sticking him in the corner.
I think that portion's fair. Okay, so here's my honest takes on UNC, and then I'll get you out of here. I know you got to get a workout in before you pick DO up, so we'll try to do 740 for you. It's not your fault. It's not Bogavac's fault. It's the Adriatic League. It's not a good league. Like that's the honest truth, right? Like Petro came over from there too, right? He was like MVP candidate. He doesn't need to be playing for Illinois, right? Like it's not your fault. Like you saw his tape against guys that like probably couldn't play in the ASUN, and you thought like he's dominating pros, he should be able to handle Florida State. I get the logic.
So you're saying that so my argument all summer was like, yo, you know where Nikola Jokic played before he was in the NBA? He's in the ABA. You know where Ivica Zubac played? Is in the Adriatic League. Like those guys are the outliers, not the norm. There's
a big difference between Jokic and Zubac. 7 feet.
Yeah, that's true.
7 feet. So I think Luka Bogavac, with all due respect, well, I guess I don't know if I could say all this and then be like, yeah, with all due respect, but I think we all expected him to be playing lesser competition this year, and he's not, and that's okay. It's a learning experience, not just for like yourself, myself, or Luka, but every coach too. Like, I don't think these guys are going to be rushing to the ABA, right? Like, I don't think they're going to be rushing to the ABA this offseason. I think they're going to be like, well, like it didn't work this year. So like maybe this talent isn't really there. But your logic, it made sense. Like, I don't think you should take back what you said. We were just unaware that the ABA isn't good.
We went for the wrong international guard because I would guess we're paying Mario Saint-Superi, we're paying Luka Bogavac about the same, if not more, than Gonzaga's playing Saint-Superi. And
that's not good.
Yeah. UNC paid Luka a lot of money to come over. I know Gonzaga paid Saint-Superi a lot lot of money. Saint-Superi is awesome. Yeah. Saint-Superi is sick, dude. I was watching that game against San Diego, which we can hit on. I want to deflect from my team struggles for a second. Gonzaga gave up an 11-1 run in the final 2 minutes of that game. That's why it was so close. They were up like 16-17 most of that second half. Saint-Superi, he is like, dude, he's just so fun to watch. It feels like he gets into the paint at will. It feels like he's always ready to throw a lob. He pushes the break, knockdown shooter, can play off ball as well, and he dyed his hair blonde. I really wish that we had made a trip to Spain instead of to the Balkan states and gotten him instead. Shout out to Mark Few, still doing it at this age. But
Saint-Superi, though, to me, and like I might be wrong on this, but like the difference between the two, like he played in the Champions League at some point. Right, like he like that's
the second best league in Europe. This Champion League.
Or the Eurobasket. Like I think the Eurobasket's like their version of like the Euros, like for the national teams. So, like he plays on the Spain national team. So like he's playing like when people go, oh, the Europe has the second best league in the world. He's playing in the league they're referring to. I think we're taking it as like all of Europe is the second best league in the world, and that part's not true. So like I think Saint-Superi is actually the type of player that like Like Saint Super is going to the league whether he came to play college or not.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Like
he
those
played
are the
in
guys.
he played in Liga ACB, which is the best league in Spain, which I think we can say now is probably significantly better than the ABA.
And I just think that was the issue. I think we thought the ABA was better than it was. And then that's not our fault. It's their fault. And then that's like, they need to own that. Someone from the ABA needs to come out and be like, yo, my bad. I didn't let y'all know this league actually stinks.
Yeah, we need a statement from the commissioner.
Yeah, that's what I want. Like, I just want like somebody to be like, yo, this one was on me. Hand up. Like, I'm going to own it. I didn't let y'all know. Actually, we don't have talent over here. We had Jokic and Zubac, but by the way, no one knew they played in our league. And that's the way it was supposed to be. My last take, like, let's see that we can get out of here. Is Jaren Steven the worst volume 3-point shooter in the NCAA? Yes, but he is so important to this roster. So important to this roster. Visar and Caleb Wilson can only play together so much.
Right.
And Jaren Stevenson, if you watch the Caleb Wilson minutes yesterday, I thought he struggled at some points. You plug Jaren Stevenson in, and that's when he was able to play free. That is also part of my NBA issue with him, which we won't rehash. But it's very, very clear Caleb Wilson struggles if he doesn't have a lot of spacing around him. And that's why Jaren Stevenson's so important. I think Jonathan Powell making shots is so important. Bogavac's not being on the court a lot of the time, very important. He does like the Luka step back three that just bothers me so much. Like the Doncic, like the real Luka step back three. But it is what it is. And then Ion Evans, I don't know what happened to that brother. Like the first half looked great.
Okay, to Kyan's credit, Hyena Scar, he asked, is UNC really the 12th best team? 12 to 15, somewhere in that range. I don't hate it. I mean, the record looks nice. I don't know. They haven't beat too many good. They got 3 quad one wins, which I'll take, but the record does feel a little inflated based on how many bad teams they played. But Kyan Evans, he made, I think, 3 of his first 4 threes, started the second half with 2 of the worst misses I've ever seen. He completely airballed one. I think the other one was wide left and grazed the back iron. But then he came back and knocked down 2 more. So I'm kind of out on the Kyan Evans experience, just being real. Like, he's not a point guard. I think I like this role where he's really just shooting catch and shoot threes and occasionally attacking and close out. Like, that's much better for me than like letting him really handle or initiate much at all. So maybe they figure something out there. But yeah, that was just, I don't know if I've ever seen a shooting performance where a guy makes 5 threes and yet you still don't feel great about it.
Yeah. But I left the game thinking to myself, they need him because no one else wants to shoot. And Caleb Wilson, it is so clear. If you put him out there, and because like I'm sorry to who brought it up, but everybody was like, ask Riley about the first 10 minutes. To me, it wasn't the first 10. It was the first 4 or 5. And the moment Luka, the Bogavac experiment was over, I thought UNC looked fine. Were they missing shots? Yes. But like, that's going to happen. But like, it looked like a complete, like the first 4 possessions was like Bogavac step back, Bogavac turnover, Bogavac step back, and then Bogavac midi that he missed. It's like, okay, go sit somewhere. I don't think he played the rest of the first half. And then Hubert thought, like, bright idea, let's try it again to start the second half. And how did the second half start? Kyan airball, Luka Bogavac missed 3, Kyan grazed the rim. Okay, Luka come out, and then they just look fine again. And it's like, I don't think coaching's that hard. I think UNC is a really good team. I just think they have some pieces that don't need to play as much as they do, and basketball isn't hard. Give Caleb Wilson shooters and like, let's see what happens. Even the Visar stuff, man. Like I love Visar. I think Visar is amazing, and most importantly, Visar is going to be really good when Caleb Wilson leaves. The 2 together, probably sparingly. Like I think what I would do, because Caleb Wilson to me is like, he shouldn't play as many minutes as he is. He gets tired. Let's play Visar by himself more. all of Visar's minutes don't need to be with Caleb Wilson. He's talented enough to give you a 4 or 5 minute stretch each half on his own. And then if they play 4 or 5 minutes together, that gets Visar to like 20, 22 minutes. I think that's enough. And Jaron Stevenson is good too.
We can end by saying I'm cool with them both playing 35 minutes plus.
They seem easy to guard to me when they're on the court together.
I guess that's a fair counter, but I don't know. I'm a big Vasar believer.
Oh, me too. Me too. Riley has to go. You're right, Pickle Rick. We'll get you guys out of here. Everybody have a great new year. We'll be back on Monday, 2026. That's the year of sleepers.